What up, AFAM? Kitty with atolavisuals. Today I was going to be cleaning my lenses anyway, so I figured, why not teach you to clean yours? Before I show you how to clean lenses, I will go over how you should not clean lenses. Alright, don't be crazy. You should know by now that none of that is a good idea. Don't be spraying anything directly on the lens, liquid, Windex, lens cleaner, or anything. Some people use this, but I would definitely keep this away from any of your camera stuff. Just keep it for your keyboards and other type of electronics that aren't as important. I'm just kidding, but you know what I mean. This is garbage, only emergency. I don't recommend them because even if you clean them, you're reusing it over and over and over again, and this has a bunch of oils and dirt and dust from everything else you've been touching with it. So this would be like a quick fix, a last resort type of situation. Don't use them, even though I have, but don't use them. Garbage. So the things you'll need is a rocket blower. This thing is probably my favorite thing in my camera bag. I literally bring this with me everywhere. Not only does it look pretty damn cool, but it's very, very useful. And then thing number one and thing number two, I use these Kimtech Science brand Kim wipes. They're lens cleaners. Task wipers is what they call them. But it comes with 280 sheets. This thing has lasted me a very long time. You don't have to bring this entire box with you. I just use those little, I know when you buy camera stuff, it comes with little accessories and they have these little baggies, kind of like drug baggies, but you could put your tissues in there to keep them dust-free and clean. And then I just have some basic generic lens cleaner. I know there's a lot of various brands of lens cleaners that you could buy. Pick your favorite one. And then if you have gunk that really can't get off, get some Q-tips. I would recommend wrapping some lens tissue around the Q-tips because we all know they have these little fibers that come off pretty easily. Bonus tip, they also make these lens pens that have a brush on one end and then a felt tip on the other. Kind of looks like a permanent marker type. I used to have one of those, but I felt like I never ended up using it. So I just keep to my rocket blower and lens tissue technique. So take your first lens, I would tip it down, don't drop it. Take your blower and just blow it around. Get all that dust off of it. So all the dust falls down. That's the whole point of that. Get the back side of it, obviously. That's the first step. If you can't get everything off of it, then we move on to the next step. And this is where you would use your lens pen or like a lens brush and just brush off some more excess before you get to the cleaning solution. Next step, take a little tissue. Make sure your hands are clean. Don't get your dirty, oily fingertips on the side that you're gonna be cleaning it with. And make sure when you wet it, wet the tissue first. And I recommend going in a little circular motion. Starting from the middle, doesn't matter counterclockwise. And then it's best to check it in the light. Like I said before, if you still have some gunk on there, take a little bit of Q-tip, wrap it up in your lens tissue. So you kind of have a little bit more force. And then there's probably gonna be a little bit of dust from the lens tissue, so take your rocket again and blow it out. And it should be pretty done. That's it, it's simple. And then you could do the same with your filters. These, I'd bring it up to the light and definitely get the front and back of these. I highly, highly recommend for any lens you get, definitely buy a UV filter. Not only just a UV filter, a really good UV filter. Because think about it, you're spending what, maybe thousands on one piece of glass, and then you get some cheap $20 filter on it. It's not gonna be great. You pretty much wasted your money. So the brand I normally use is B+W. These are awesome. They're made in Germany, my people. But these are great because it'll protect your actual lens. It'll keep the dust out of there so you don't actually have to clean it that often. So if you're trying to sell it, you want to keep it pristine. And if you scratch this, it's so much easier to replace than an entire lens. So make the investment. I highly, 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 highly recommend. I have a horror story. I had, this will never happen again, but it did happen. I had my backpack, which opened up from the side. It was like a my Manfrotto sling bag. I had this exact lens slip out of it from maybe like a foot off the ground. And then I just heard a shatter and I think my heart just freaking escaped out of my butt and I was freaking out and I turned around and I saw broken glass and I almost wanted to cry, but luckily it was just the filter. I was praying to the freaking camera gods, like, thank you, you guys have blessed me. I don't know what I would have done if I lost this lens. But all I had to do was replace that filter and my entire lens was okay. It's still working today. Horror story, I always triple check my zippers now. Don't let that shit happen to you because it's terrifying. Okay, moving on. So go through all your camera lenses one by one, give them some love. This is actually something that I find therapeutic. I don't know if anyone else is out there that feels the same way, but I actually enjoy it. I get in the zone. I like seeing things crystal clear and clean, ready to take on another shoot day. And the best part of this system is that you could dispose of these every time. So you're not reusing sheets from dirty lenses before. I sometimes use the same lens cloth for 2 lenses. It's not that big of a deal, but probably not any more than that. If you always keep your lenses covered as much as you can, it'll keep the dust and dirt out of there and you'll have to clean it less. It has nothing to do with lenses, but if you need to clean out some dust from your sensor, definitely point it down. Even when you're changing lenses, I highly suggest you always point it down. Cover it if you can. If you don't have 2 hands, then just keep it down. Get your blower and then blow upside down as well. So then all the dust and dirt will fall out of it instead of you just blowing it around in there. And then if it's still dirty and you need to clean it, don't. Bring it in somewhere and get someone else to clean it. I know they have videos of how to clean your sensor. I have to just not suggest that because you might scratch your sensor and then, you know what? I can't recommend it because you'll blame me and I don't want to be held responsible if you do all that wrong. So I would just take it in to get it cleaned. Treat your cameras to a little spa day. Think of it that way. All right, give me a like if you learned something here today. Follow me on IG because I post there on the daily. You do you, fam, and I'll see you when I see you. Done. It's a circle. Bam. But first, before we get inhales air from its little butt there. Cleaning lenses all day.